My name is Fernando Montenegro, and I'm a principal research analyst at 451 Research, now a part of S&P Global Market Intelligence. I cover cybersecurity, and specifically endpoint security and cloud security. When we think about security concerns keeping the security team up at night, we like to break them down into two areas, right? One of them is security concerns that the team has about themselves. Some of our research indicates that cloud technologies is actually one of the top areas where security teams feel that they need to skill up, so they have to be able to develop capabilities there quickly. The other area of concern is how are others using cloud security? Specifically, are other teams using data the way they should? Are other teams configuring cloud environments in a secure manner? And then lastly, how are security teams going to report compliance about those cloud environments to others? There's a common understanding that sometimes security teams focus more on data security than infrastructure, particularly in cloud environments. And I think that comes from a couple of places. First of all, there's the notion that data security is more easily tied to broader business objectives, which is interesting, which is good. But on the other hand, there's also the fact that when you're talking about data security, when you're focusing on data, you're not focusing so much on the underlying infrastructure, which, particularly when it comes to cloud technologies, it's one of the areas where security teams identify that they need to skill up on. So for them, it becomes much easier to have a conversation around data security than it does to have one around infrastructure. Ultimately, though, we feel that what needs to happen is that conversation has to include both data and infrastructure, because ultimately the objective is to demonstrate to the stakeholders that the environment is working securely as expected, and that includes both data and infrastructure. We think that the best way for organizations to achieve better security in production, better operational security, is first and foremost for security teams and cloud engineering teams to work together. That's first and foremost. They have to understand it's a shared mission, and they have to design security into that environment in a way that doesn't break production, in a way that doesn't affect performance, but in a way that achieves the security objectives. So, for example, for security teams, it means being very sensitive to how do the cloud engineering teams work and how their images get to production and how do you insert into that workflow. And for cloud engineering teams, it means understanding what the threat models are, what the threat environment is, and understanding how you're going to identify and defend against the specific threats to your environment. But again, the fundamental thing is for those two teams to work together in a way that achieves the broader organizational objectives.